consciousness. If you are conscious, then you recognize and accept the wisdom of divine love into an open heart. Consciousness is a level of perspective or awareness. When we open our hearts through spiritual practice, we attract wisdom from the universe in the form of spiritual light. Light is wisdom. When we accept this spiritual light into our opened heart, it allows us to change our perspective, and this new awareness creates within us an awakening of the soul. When your soul awakens, you remember your purpose. Your purpose is to serve. Consciousness teaches the soul. With regular spiritual practice, we receive an influx of light. Each influx of light holds gems of divine wisdom. These are nuggets of information that teach your soul and help it to remember its purpose. The purpose of the soul is to learn and to serve from a higher perspective. Consciousness contains keys. The light contains lots of tiny vibrations that are strong and pure. And within each of these vibrations is a key. With each download of light, you also download a key, and this key is embedded into your aura. When you then reach the desired level of awareness, the key is turned to unlock an even higher perspective. You continue to reach higher and higher levels of consciousness with each influx of light and keys, until the keys eventually attune you to the frequency of God consciousness. These vibrations can be likened to a pitching fork used to tune a piano. Vibrations allow you to access an orchestra of music, an orchestra of consciousness. But where does the consciousness come from? Consciousness comes from your God. It can be accessed directly from the higher planes of existence once you have purified your being to resonate directly with God's harmonic or frequency. Through dedication to healing your heart, you can access the higher planes, and this can be accomplished through the practices of prayer, meditation, forgiveness, and ascension. There are different types of consciousness. Consciousness is constantly evolving and changing and developing during your lifetime. There are different levels of awareness dependent on where your soul has been and dependent on where your soul is currently headed. This will dictate the course of your spiritual path should you want to access it. You have the free will to decide at any time whether you will choose to accept the higher consciousness. At its basic level, consciousness is only concerned with survival and is driven by the pursuits of ego, self-gratification, or aggrandizement. As the soul develops and matures, higher levels of consciousness enter through the opened heart, and the ego now becomes less important. The concepts of love now begin to take hold, and at the highest level of development, a soul will have allowed 100% of the consciousness of light in, and will now decide to undertake its ascension. At this level, the soul can now merge with the Christ light, and the student becomes the master, an ascended master. The soul lessons have been mastered, and the heart has been healed. Karma has been released or transmuted, and the path of spiritual aspiration is the driving force, the aspiration to serve with love. At this level of consciousness, heaven becomes a place in that moment. It is a state of being. Heaven is no longer the search for peace or sanctuary outside of the self. Consciousness just is. Consciousness is neither good nor bad. Consciousness just is. It is a pure energy, initially untainted. However, free will allows for us to create thoughts that then merge with the consciousness, and these thoughts can affect it. Whether this is deemed as good or bad is subjective. Rather than something being good or bad, it is better to accept that it can change course and be different, creating different outcomes. It can change course based on the input of thoughts that merge with the consciousness at any given moment. Everything is relative and in a constant process of change, and is always evolving despite seeming illusions created by labels. Remember that everything that exists is love, but it is the filter of our perceptions, our mind, that can create labels which may deter us and suggest that this is otherwise.